Hi, this is Tech Greens Binder, where I do predictions of the future. If you'd like me to do prediction for you, let me know in the comments below. Just a reminder, we do lives here on Saturdays and Sundays at 10 a.m. Central and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. Central. So make sure you mark it on your calendar so you don't miss out. We might be changing for the Sunday show in the near future. We're thinking of partaking in a local service here. So we'll keep you notified on that. Okay, so let's get started with the show. As you've noticed, we got a new backdrop. I'm in the cosmos. Woo. So, today's topic on our show is the stock market. Will it crash? Will it hyperinflate? Will it go stagnant? What's going to go on? Let's find out. Okay. Lots of good questions coming up already. Pre-show questions that we see. We got Queen Kitty. We got Silver Geek. We got MP. We got Alkaline. Who?
Permanent 360.
Ah. Nice. And Batman's here. I'm Batman. Batman. So the stock market in the next little while, I think, is going to be doing a little bit of hyperinflation as we move into a new way of being. There's a lot of greed right now. It's not like any time in the past that we've had this amount of greed going on within the stock markets. Even now, the old market is starting to collapse in on itself. That's the banking system. You have to think of the banking system and the stock market as two separate entities almost. But they do affect one another. But unfortunately, the banking system is not in the greatest shape. And this is why a lot of the banking system is starting to go into cryptocurrencies, just because that the dollar is going away. It does affect the stock market, but not in a way that you think. Okay, they're not completely attached to one another, but they are. It's kind of a weird situation with that. But I do, and a lot of other analysts and a lot of other psychics have been stating that yes, it is going to be going hyperbolic. Okay, just because the North American governments have to save the dollar and have to save the markets. Okay, so they're going to do everything and anything that they can. Okay, to keep them going. They do not want them to collapse. Nothing's been repaired on the stock market or the world markets, okay, since 2008. They basically put a Band-Aid on everything after 2008 to keep it running. This is why they endlessly pump money into the system, is to keep that system alive so people don't run away with their money and put it into other things like cryptocurrencies, which shouldn't be attached to the stock market. But unfortunately, everybody is treating it like stocks. And seriously, they aren't really the same thing. Okay, there are some cryptocurrencies that act like stock market stocks and bonds and all that sort of thing, but they should be a separate entity. And what we're going to start to see in the future is many of the stock market stocks, bonds, derivatives, and all that sort of thing are going to have a crypto representation. Okay, everything is going to start to move into that area where it's going to be tokenized. The world is going to be tokenized. Okay, in the future. Even the guy from BlackRock was saying that in an interview. Everything is going to be tokenized into the future. And this is why we keep saying get into cryptocurrencies before it's too late, especially Bitcoin. Okay. Ethereum, Chainlink, that sort of thing, XRP even. So, first card that comes up, which is the health of the stock market, which is this one, which is upside down for me. Okay, and right side up for you, meaning that the health isn't as healthy as they're claiming it to be. It's held together with scotch tape and staples and duct tape and then maybe a little squirt of WD 40, which is now kind of illegal in Canada. Go figure. And they want to keep that going, but it is going to collapse at some point in time because it's inevitable. It's going to happen. It's mathematically proven that it will happen. Right now, what you're starting to see is hyperbolic reaction to keeping everything alive. Okay. You can only do that for so long. So for the next 2 to 3 years, you're probably going to see this hyper action within the stock market as they keep pumping money into that system that is pretty much at the end of the cycle. Okay. Stock markets, if you've done any study on it, have cycles. Okay. You just get a big graph that shows the ups and downs of the market. And every 6 to 7 years, it goes down and then recovers for about 4 or 5 years and then goes back up a little bit and it peaks and then comes down. That's what normally happens. But in 2008, they stopped that cycle. And when you play around with the normal movement, the breathing in, breathing out of the system, which is almost alive in a sense, the stock market, it only causes huge damage in the long run. Okay. And that's pretty much what this card is telling me, is it is coming to an end. Okay. It should have been dead already. The most humane thing they could have done in 2008 and just let it drop. Okay. It's a natural thing to happen. And everybody got too greedy in the beginning, right? Everybody was buying these stocks and REITs and all that sort of thing based on mortgages and stuff. And it pushed the market up. And of course, a couple gentlemen saw that it was going to be collapsing, and it did. Okay. And that same gentleman has also did some counter investing. I forget his name, the Wolf of Wall Street, has already put his money in and pretty much put his money where his mouth is, that the market is going to be collapsing very, very soon. With that said, I do think we're going to have hyper activity within the stock market for the next 2 to 3 years, and then it's going to be okay. That's pretty much what I've been picking up, is it's going to be doing this cycle. And when it does drop, and it'll drop, because it's a natural cycle of the stock market, that the more you prolong that, the harder it's going to dive. Okay? Watch what the elites are doing. Okay? A lot of them are getting that gold, getting that silver, getting those cryptocurrencies. Pretty much an indicator they know before we do. By the time we figure it out on the news, it's way too late in the game. Okay? So I'm not saying don't get into the stock market. It does have some short-term benefits. It will go up like crazy in the next little while. But beware, when everybody's afraid, be greedy. But not everybody's afraid in the stock market. Okay? There are being very, very greedy, right? When everybody's greedy, be afraid. So if everybody's, oh, this stock here is really good, you get people calling you, that's really pretty much an indicator to sell. The same rules that apply to cryptocurrencies also apply to stock markets. So right now, everybody's hyperbolic and they're excited and all that sort of thing, which is an indicator that some time very, very soon, after probably 2 to 3 years, it's going to drop like a rock. Okay? Look at some of the other cards. Money wise, for the next 3 years, it's going to have that miracle healing. Everything is fine. Don't look at the things behind the curtain. Okay. So for the next little while, good money opportunities out there for everybody, but it's only going to be short-lived. Okay. And of course, for the people that have been playing along with this up and down, they're going to have that happily ever after. Some won't. Okay, they will not know when to pull out in time. And it's very, very easy. When everybody's excited and being greedy, that's when you get out. Okay? So, yes, it's going to be hyper for the next 2 to 3 years, and then it's going to collapse. Okay? Because it's artificially fed. Okay? So, hopefully that answers any questions on the stock market. Now, the other question on our Discord channel, if you're not part of our Discord channel, make sure you go to the link in the description. It's free for everybody to join. You can join us nutty group and build up on our growing community here. So the question is, John Fetterman, he's a United States Senator. Is it the same guy? Or is it, as one reader says, a clone? If you don't remember or haven't been watching the news from the last couple of years, John Fetterman had a stroke and was not of able mind. Okay, and he won anyways. And I went, what? Okay, if you remember way back then. Now, is it the same person? Now, they've had comparison picture of him before and of him now. Okay, I do believe it's a different person. It's not a clone. It's an actor pretending to be John Fetterman. People and their clones. Clone in a sense, but it's an actor who's just acting like the person, right? A look-alike. Okay, let's write the cards down. So the health of this particular situation, it's more of a money-making thing that they have this duplicate. Yes, it is a duplicate person because he has tattoos on his arms where the previous guy didn't, unless the stroke made him want to go out and make tattoos, and his head shape is a little different. His facial features are a little bit different as well. Okay? But it is another person acting like John Fetterman. Okay? And this has been put into place so that they can keep the power. They're going to be doing everything and anything to keep that power. So he's a senator. And they're trying to keep the little, I shouldn't say little, but on the smaller scale government going to the favor of Mr. Biden, right? But that's going to be failing very, very soon. I think he's going to be losing the next one because people see that he's not all there. And I do think that he's going to be changing his tune in the next little while, and people are going to be figuring out that it's not actually him. Okay, because it's more obvious than other clones that it's a different person. I do think this whole situation, yes, it is a clone. The health of that's going to be only short-lived. People are going to start to figure it out. And they're going to be going the other way anyways because everybody's going to be pulling to the right. Okay. This is the end of the Biden administration. And then we can get into some other nonsense that we can talk about on this show. And the people are already visualizing what to do next. Okay, so be ready with other shenanigans from the deep state of someone very similar to him running in the next election for that position. Okay, so there you go. Yes, it is a duplicate. Okay, I think we're into the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, make sure you get into that Discord. Again, that link is in the description down below. Permanent 360 was asking the question. Hi, Andre. Will the U.S. Department of Justice go after Richard Hart? Of course they will. And Paul Shane. If so, will they win? Now, we had this question a few times previously. Either like Richard Hart or not like him. I don't mind him. He's a bit of a ass, which you probably wouldn't mind being called. But he's very, very smart, and I think his heart is in the right spot with his pulse chain and all that sort of thing. Now, and his hex. So yeah, they're going to be going after him because that's all they know how to do, and they want to keep that control. They don't want people to have upward mobility in the cryptocurrency markets at all costs. They want to keep you enslaved. Will he win? That'd be the other question. I do think he's going to have good representation. He's going to be pleading his case, and I think, again, the SEC and all that sort of thing is going to be falling flat on their face. You have to remember, they're just scrambling and they're lashing out. What you're watching right now is groups of organizations that are losing ground, and they're doing everything to keep in power and keep relevant. Okay, so they're going to be lashing around at everything and anything. Okay, so it's going to be bringing that pulse chain down in price quite a bit because of the bad news. It just means a good opportunity for you to get in if you want to. Not financial advice. And the people behind, I think he's going to be winning that case overall. And we're going to have to let go of these notions of doing these knee-jerk reactions that everybody's been doing. Okay? Stop living in fear. Because this question comes kind of from fear and not seeing the entire scope of things. Okay? Cryptocurrencies will win the day. Doesn't look like it right now, right? But it will. And what you're seeing right now from the politicians and the banks and the big wigs in, everywhere is them panicking. Don't panic along with them, okay? Be greedy, as I've always said. Okay? So hopefully that answers that question. Alkaline. Hi, Andre. Serious question. Okay. Sure is. Will I marry my current girlfriend? Well, if you're asking the question, it means you haven't asked the question to her. I don't see marriage. I do see a long relationship with her. I don't think she's quite ready for that step quite yet. I do see some other influences in there that are going to be changing the what you call it, the landscape of that relationship that you have with her, where it's probably going to stay kind of where it is right now until something new happens. Okay, I don't think she's ready for that particular situation. Okay, and I don't think you're quite ready for that. Seriously. Um, but it's going to be a long, uh, good relationship for the next little while. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. Queen Kitty. Ooh, I like the icon. Hi, Andre. Will I stay with my dad in Taybuck? I guess that's the place. For the next years, or will I go to my village with my mom? I don't think you're going to be staying where you are. I think you're going to be going back with your mom for other reasons than what you had thought in the first place. There's going to be something else that's going to be coming up that you may need to go to the your village with your mom. Okay, for a short period of time, and then you're going to be going into a different situation where you're going to be going more abroad on certain things. Um, and at that period of time, it may be for work related things going further into the future. And I think that situation is going to be having some situation that you're going to have to deal with on a more personal level, where you're going to have to repair relationships that you have with each of them. Okay, so there's going to be a whole lot of back and forth between you, your mom, and your dad. Um, and you're going to need to be the mediator between the two of them to get them to see this, what is right for you and not necessarily for them. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out. Silver Geek, could you shed some light on if there will be a mad rush for people to pull out their 401ks? There already has been a little bit. 401ks are kind of like Canadian RRSPs. They don't pay all that great, but it's there's some ways you can pull it out and some ways that you can't. I'm not quite aware of all the American rules and regulations on that, but I think there is going to be a moment in time when people are going to be running out of that in the next 3 years. Probably going back to what I said in the very beginning and looking for other avenues of making money. I know the people on crypto viewing, they talk about this a lot, and a lot of them are pulling out their 401ks and put them, they have a way of putting it more into cryptocurrency based of a portfolio. Okay, so you might want to watch his show for that information. They talk about it quite a bit, actually. Even though I was a financial advisor a long time ago, I don't know too much about American regulations and stuff. So you would have to check with somebody local if you wanted to do that. Yeah, there is going to be a moment in time in the next 2 to 3 years where everybody's going to be rushing out of their 401ks and putting them into other ventures like gold and silver and cryptocurrencies and that sort of thing. Just because of all the weirdness that's going on within the markets themselves. Okay, so you want something that's going to grow and not diminish over time, which is our banking system. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. I need help from gang stalkers at work. How can I beat it or deal with it? I'm not sure what a gang like a stalker, I'm guessing. Uh,
Bad guys.
huh?
Bad guys.
Some kind of bad guy?
Some kind of bad guy.
Dealing with it, you that sort of situation you never want to go toe to toe unless you're a kung fu master or something like that. Always, I remember a friend of mine asked. He kept going to this bar, and he kept getting beat up by the people in the bar. And he asked me, Andre, how can I beat these? What's some kung fu? Because he was just getting into martial arts himself on how to beat these guys. Don't go into the bar. So he goes and asks his master from his martial arts, and he's correct. If you see danger over there, go the other way. I'm just seeing that maybe getting the police involved in that sort of thing. Probably your best bet. Don't do it alone. Unless you're a highly skilled martial artist that has guns and stuff. I don't presume that you're a kung fu master. Yeah, pretty much to get around this situation, get the police involved. That's probably the go-to thing, or some other organization that helps with that particular situation. Don't do it alone. Tell people at your workplace, tell your boss, that sort of thing, that there is a situation. And getting everything else in place to take care of the situation. Okay? Hopefully that answers your question.
Okay. Sorry.
The World Economic Forum are renaming to the Council for Inclusive Capitalism. Oh, they're changing their name again. Okay. Forget the name that they used to go by back in the day. It's not the first time. Okay. We squished them the last time. They had to change the name and then come back. Okay. Now they got the World Economic Forum, and now that has a lot of negative content, dirt on it. Now they have to change their name. They want to change their appearance, I guess. we're a nicer, cleaner villainous organization. Yeah, I don't see them not doing this. Okay. I think they're going to be they are on the way out. I keep seeing videos of them getting hammered on by different organizations outside of the World Economic Forum. And there's a lot of protests against the World Economic Forum. And there's now people, wealthy elites, coming out against these World Economic Forum people. They will go away. Okay. We just got to stop listening to them and complying. The art of non-compliance. So they will come back at some time with a different name. Okay. But I do see them going away for quite some time. Okay. And trying to be more sneaky about their stuff and not write a book telling everybody what they're going to be doing. This is, I forget the name of the book. They actually brought out a book telling everybody what they're going to be doing, all the nastiness. I guess they didn't think people would read it. for whatever reason. But yeah, they will disappear for a time. Okay. Thank you for that question. Hi, the crypto viewers just viewed an event like we did for 2024 election. Huh.
And I think this is a response to that.
Is it about the remote viewers seeing an event that may be way bigger than 9/11?
It is.
Probably the thing that we were picking up recently where there may not be an election. Okay, and there's a lot of other people that are talking about this, where there's going to be a moment in time where everybody's going to be up in arms. The next thing would be having a war footing with Russia, which is completely stupid. So Biden becomes a wartime president. So he stays in power. There's that rule. If there's a war going on, the president stays the president until the war is done, right? And I think that's what they're trying to do. Okay, so there could be some incident like the Russians bombed something. So a black or false flag operation going on. Probably something within the United States that's going to be, and they're going to be blaming them. Okay. And then go to war with a different country that's not related to the thing, like they did for 9/11. But yeah, there is going to be something that's going to be cropping up. And this is probably why we saw earlier on that Trump was going to be winning in the 2024 elections because of something going on behind the scenes. Because they can't stop Trump from winning normally. Now they're going to be doing all the things to prevent him becoming president, right? And that could be something like a war footing with Russia and China and the BRICS, which we would just lose. But yeah, it's going to be something that's probably blowing up of a building or something like that, or a ship. That's usually their tactic going forward is they blow something up, right? Get everybody up in a tizzy and have endless news cycle on that. They blow up a building, or they blow up a ship. That's how World War II started. This is how Vietnam started. And they didn't even have a ship that blew up. They just said that there was. And they're going to be trying to pull something like that again. Okay? And we can say no. No. There is an arbitrage opportunity with gold and silver between the LBMA and the Shanghai Exchange. Price in Shanghai is about 2% higher for the metals than the LBMA. Is gold and silver about to break out? Yes. We've been talking about that for quite some time. That it will. Just think of everything in the financial realm as a pressure cooker, and it's about to pop. Somebody turned it on high, and that little, and they cap the steam release on the pressure pot. Things are going to go, right? Of course, we got that deal that the Russians and the Chinese made with one another because they do all the manufacturing of gold and silver for manufacturing purposes. And they're going to be exclusive to one another, not selling anything to the Western world. Remember, I said this a couple months back. This will lead to shortages here at home in North America if you're in the Western world. So, as a result, they're going to have to get out their ass and get all the mines that do silver and gold here back home, well, in the Western world, to be producing gold and silver. for manufacturing because that's a big thing. I work in manufacturing. They don't have certain silver or gold for manufacturing. That's a lot of money out the door. So we're going to start to see this more often. And because of that, shortages, you got the supply, you got the demand. And if they don't coalesce, you got an explosion in price. Pretty simple. So yeah, there is going to be an explosion very, very soon. I think in the next 2 months. It's going to be in the next year, actually. It's going to be that we're going to start to see this situation go on in a big way. Even Cliff High has talked about this, and other news sources that I trust are already stating that there's going to be an increase in prices for gold and silver. So if you're hanging on to gold and silver, keep hanging on. Okay? It's going to be pretty good. Thank you for that, Brad. Winter Hotel from my wife. I never really thought in Winter Hotel is in Winnipeg, if you didn't know, and we had a great fire here a couple days back. And the wife's asking the question, is it an insurance scam? Maybe the buildings were full of asbestos and it was cheaper to burn them. Kind of like 9/11. I don't see it as an insurance scam, but there is something else behind the scenes that was the reason. I think was a dispute between two organizations that were part of that particular situation. I'm just getting this I'll show you kind of attitude, why the fire was created in the first place. I'll show you. And then
a bunch of people out.
You
just kicked a bunch of people out.
Kicked a bunch of people out.
Evicted everybody.
Evicted. We're going to start to see a lot more of that in the near future. We're going to start to see buildings on fire, provinces on fire, countries on fire, because they need that land grab. That's part of it too. They need that land for something. Okay? And they may make a tidy sum with the insurance. Russia apparently getting ammo from North Korea. Yeah, we already knew that. They're also getting ammunition from China. And the United States is wagging their finger at the Chinese. China, whatever. I think Kim was in Russia having a meeting with Mr. Putin the other day. That's probably what they were talking about. That's the one thing China and North Korea do have. I don't know about North Korea. Manufacturing like crazy. They can out-manufacture it, most of us in the Western world. Doesn't mean that's the highest of quality, but they can produce things at a great rate. Yeah, that is going on. There are going to be some other side deals, and they're trying to coax North Korea into the BRICS in a way. And I think China is standing behind Russia going, you do what he tells you. Because they're on the border, right? Yeah, there's going to be a little bit more manufacturing from that side. Nothing wrong with manufacturing. just keeps that war machine going, which I don't like war necessarily, but for the reason if you want to play that game, you got to play it well. And Putin does it very, very well. Okay? Thank you for that. Should have rephrased, will I ever gonna marry my current girlfriend? No. There's some other things behind the scenes that you haven't come across yet that are going to be changing the way you think and feel about that particular situation. Now you got to get careful because when I tell people that and blatant no, they go, "Well, I'll show you, and I'll get married to them," and blah 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 blah, blah, and they get married, and all kinds of silliness resumes. Just play it out, okay? I don't think it's going to be a thing in the near future. Just go naturally about it, okay? Because people get a little weird when I say that, and they do all kinds of weird stuff. Just take it easy, do the thing, have a wonderful relationship together, okay? I don't want you just inadvertently destroying that relationship in any way. Enjoy what it is, okay? And live every moment with your partner to its fullest, okay? Hopefully that helps you out. Oh, we're at the end?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're not part of our Discord community, make sure you get there. There's that link in the description down below. We got 68, 69 people in there right now, all showing their best cat pictures and other things like cryptocurrency discussions and all that sort of thing. That's also where we have all the questions for Andre, where many of the questions for the show come to be. If you like a personal reading with me, make sure to go to secondreadingsbyandre.com, where all that information is there. If you like a personal healing with my wife, the Reiki Master, make sure you go to the same site where all that information is there. If you like to protect your cryptocurrencies in the best possible way, make sure that you discover our affiliate link on our website, where you can buy a Trezor wallet through our affiliate link. And if you should happen to purchase one from that link, know that we make a little bit of money from that purchase. Okay, until we meet again tomorrow at 10 o'clock a.m. I'll talk to you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the future. Bye-bye.
Horoscopes at 11.
Horoscopes at 11. See you then.